Okay, so we are back on the Moto Cheapie build, and in the previous one we got the bike all together, we got it started, it wasn't welded, but at least we got the motor running. And in this one we're going to get the head tube welded on and try and finish the bike enough so that we can give it a test ride. So let's jump straight back in. So at this point we decided to take the bike to my buddy Arthur Logan. He's a professional fabricator, so we thought it would be better off getting the head tube welded by him because it's such a critical area. So next job is the exhaust pipe on the bike. I've got this nice stainless steel exhaust which I wouldn't like to cut up. I prefer to keep that for a future project with a carbon silencer. But I am going to steal this silencer and try and mate it to this cheaper sort of mild steel exhaust pipe. It's currently coming out at the wrong angle. It needs to come up sort of up there. So I'm going to try and cut it right down here and tack it in a better position to make it all work. made some progress on the exhaust, but we noticed something. It's way too low. It's probably going to hit the ground on bottom out. So I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board there, take out a whole section of the header pipe. So it's all welded up. This one came out pretty nice and clean. So I'm going to mount it on the bike and see if it's fitting pretty good now. The exhaust is finally done and it's looking much slimmer underneath, so we shouldn't have any clearance issues there. This is all welded up, and I welded up this tab and had to make this bend in to get the angle right. And I added a little extra tab over here, which is just for extra stability. So it's looking pretty cool. It's running quite nice and close to the frame, so hopefully not going to burn our legs. And I'm pretty happy with that. Peg bars on. The plan is to use this old foot brake from another pit bike and try and position it underneath there. There is already this tab, which I don't know what it was used for on the other bike. So the idea is to grind this off and use this old off-cut damping rod as the pivot point for the brake. So we'll just weld in this bar because it fits perfectly inside there. The brake pedal is on, but we need to line up this little tab over here because it's sitting way outside of the bike. So the plan is to cut it off, flip it the other way around and weld it back on. So next job is to do a chain slider. I've got this offcut of a seatle, which we are going to try and attach to the swing arm. All on, chain sliders on, everything seems about ready. We've got a temporary air filter on there, So we want to get this thing all slapped together and see if we can take it for a little test ride outside while there's still a little bit of sunshine and it's not raining. So gonna quickly put it all together. It's all just tacked together at this point, so we're not gonna ride it very hard, but let's see how it goes. Remember the foot pegs. So, after many hours of work, the bike is looking somewhat like a motorbike now. Pretty stoked with that. We took it for its first ride. Some good things, some bad things. The main things that stood out is my peg bar bent immediately as soon as we stood on it, so that's not going to last a racing scenario, unfortunately. So I've got to rebuild that. The other weird thing is this Honda Wave moped motor happens to have an opposite shifting pattern, which is really irritating. So you shift down to go up gears and down to, up to go down. So yeah, it's a little bit confusing. I've got to try and maybe figure out some way of making like a linkage to invert the shifting. But I don't know if I'm going to have time before this race. I think we might have to just live with this setup as it is. But yeah, and then there's one or two other things I think I'm actually going to move this main pivot down slightly. The chain is rubbing quite severely on the swing arm, so yeah, I just think that it would be a better idea if that was moved down and we could raise the rear ever so slightly, maybe 10 or 20 mils. It's just feeling that the rear is quite low at the moment. So, but all in all, good progress. After I've modified the swing arm, it's nearly time to start doing final welding and getting it ready for powder coat. Okay, that's all we've got time for. Thank you for watching, and in the next one we're going to try and see if we can get this thing totally finished, solve some of the issues that we found on our first ride, and hopefully go racing. So hit that subscribe button if you like the video, and thanks again for watching.